Did the Avengers really win AvX? People argue that the Avengers won the war. It could be because most of the X-Men turned to their aid at the end. Could be because Cyclops was viewed as a villain in America's Most Wanted, or that Cyclops apparently lost his way when he killed Charles Xavier. All were downsides, yet did not mean he lost. In no way did what was considered a loss mean that Cyclops was defeated or any less respectable. Let's just get one fact out of the way that drives this whole argument. Cyclops was right. Was he right in leading an entire race of individuals after the world and the Avengers forsake them? Yes. Was he right in trying to train and build a better world for mutants? Yes. Was he right in taking the Sentinel issue to the UN, despite the fact that everyone attending were bigoted old men who weren't going to listen anyways? Yes. Was Scott right that the Phoenix was going to save mutant kind? Yes. Have you seen the influx of new mutants popping up all over the world? Yes. All undeniable facts. He set out to start a revolution to protect the new mutants emerging and prevent the mistreatment of mutants all over. This meant that he had to go out on the front lines to be the voice of the mutant kind in order to keep his kind safe. Fight the police, fight the racism, and even fend off from sentinels sent out of fear. The only setback he has is because he was possessed by the Phoenix during his fight with the Avengers, and they have set the control of his powers out of control, which is something he has to deal with along as everyone else who was possessed or assaulted by it as he takes on his new role. In Uncanny X-Men #3, Cyclops and his team made fools of the Avengers in front of the world. The Avengers finally confronted them in public as they took one of the New Mutants to see her mother. They expected to force Cyclops to turn himself in and answer for his crimes. Crimes that are only seen from the perspective of the ones who put them into that situation against their own will. The X-Men never asked for war, to be possessed by a force they could never hope to control, or be manipulated into fighting the ones that they cared for and killing Charles. That all started when Iron Man thought he could kill the Phoenix and shattered it in such a way that it redirected the power to Cyclops, Emma, Namor, Magic, and Colossus. Not only did this show how the Avengers instigate trouble, but they have not done much good for the mutant population since the New Mutants emerged. I'm sorry to say for those Avenger fans out there, but every single event leading to now has shown that the Avengers is built on ignorance. Ignorance to troubles that are not in front of them, troubles that have gone on for years without intervention. The X-Men, while under the control of the Phoenix Force, stopped many natural disasters and anomalies all over the world that made the earth unstable. They ended fights and violence over majority of the world. What have the Avengers done? They only focus on what threatens the earth rather than the people who really can't defend themselves against terrorism, drugs, labor, and trafficking. Since the New Mutants emerged, many have been beaten, assaulted, scared for their lives, and hunted because those like the Avengers failed to do their job, which is to make sure that they were treated equally. It is their ignorance to the dangers these New Mutants face, which is what drives Cyclops to do what he does now. And them trying to arrest Cyclops despite this and not getting the message that this is happening only proves what really matters to them in the mutant kind just really isn't up there. Sure, he made a team to promote mutant equality, yet what have we seen so far? Red Skull manipulating people into slaughtering them on sight, making people go against their will to kill mutants in cold blood. Is that small team all the Avengers can afford for such a large community? As Cyclops said, they are all guilty till proven innocent, and they will never be seen as equals when the Avengers make no effort to set an example as to how people should view mutants. You look at the panel You look at the panel in Uncanny X-Men 3, and you would see how the Avengers have been backed into a corner to the point where the most they can pin on him is the death of Charles, a death that would have been avoided if they had never been possessed by the Phoenix, which is still the Avengers' fault. Not only this, but they can't even handle the truth as well, because you see Hawkeye trying to shove an arrow into Cyclops' face, telling him he's under arrest, that he's basically talking out of his ass. Too much pride leads to blindness, and that is what we see from the Avengers. So did the Avengers win? You ask every New Mutant all over the world who is being mistreated. You ask all the people who viewed that argument, who came off as the most threatened and fearing of the others. And you can ask who tried to strike first when talking didn't work, because I believe that's how AvX began as well. Thank you for hearing me out. This is Siphon.0. Follow the links to either Analog Addiction for my weekly reviews, articles, news, or Twitter.